singing songs and meeting people around the place.
Hey,
Hey, I'm okay. How are you?
Viva Las Vegas, baby. Viva Las
Viva Las Vegas. We are in for a treat today.
Yeah.
We're in for a treat today.
Big treat.
We got a song to sing though. Let's do this.
We do.
When you're down and you're blue and you don't know what to do, just write a postcard. When you're feeling fine and there's something on your mind, just write a postcard from Vietnam. Don't you know Grandma loves this show? She listens every time. You don't need a reason. You don't need a rhyme to write a postcard to P.O. Box 1252. Just write a postcard 04098. Just write a postcard to Westbrook, Maine, 'cause Grandma loves this show. Well, gosh darn it. Welcome to Postcards, everybody. If you're just joining us for the first time, we're so glad you're here. We are coming to you live from Portland, Maine and Westbrook, Maine, respectively and respectfully as much as we can. And it's always 70s and sunny in the Postcard studio because I have the heat on this morning.
Yes, you do. You should have the heat on. I don't. I'm freezing. It's officially Maine. It's officially Maine real weather. It's cold here today.
Well, we have a very special guest for you today, and we're not going to wait to bring him in because we are just so excited to have him here. RAHMAAN PHILLIP is with us, coming to us live from Las Vegas, where he is doing shows with Lady Gaga and Imagine Dragons and other amazing folks. So without further ado, if it's okay with you, RAHMAAN, we're just going to bring you right in because we just can't wait any longer. Cool. Greetings. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, RAHMAAN. Right, Viva Las Vegas. Are you in Vegas right now? You are?
Yes, I am.
Yes, and how
bright
warm?
And early.
Right and early.
Thank you.
And warm, right? And warm.
Yep. Probably warmer than where you guys are.
Yeah. Definitely. Well, we are going to invite you to visit us in Maine, but we're going to let you come in the summertime, if that's better for you.
I would love that. I actually I spent some time in North Adams, Massachusetts a couple of years back. And I got to go to like Maine and Vermont, and that area has the best ice cream.
Yes, we do.
Oh, yes, interesting.
You said that. I'm going to take you a place when you come up. There's called John's in Freedom, Maine, and it's an artisanal craft handmade ice cream. You will never get. It's organic, and it's crazy.
Yeah,
and then
that sounds amazing.
Then I'll take you to Gelato Fiasco.
Oh, Gelato Fiasco. How come we've never talked about this, Mehuman? Gelato Fiasco and John's ice cream.
I don't know because
Thanks, RAHMAAN.
I'm a food fanatic.
I have a secret food life. I'm a Red Spoon member of. I'm one of the original Red Spoon members for Gelato Fiasco. I'm the first. They give you a special red spoon. I have 2 red spoons. It's insane.
Oh wait, no, I didn't. Oh my God,
I have the real red spoon from Gelato Fiasco. I have 2 of them.
This is why I do a show with Mehuman, RAHMAAN, is because every time I'm on the show, I learn something new about her.
Did I eat a lot of ice cream? I do. I like gelato. I like it all. I eat a lot of mochi, anything. It's got anything to do with ice cream. I will eat it.
I'm the same.
Cake. I don't care. Bring it.
All right. Well, we've got a bunch of listeners joining us this morning. We've got Laura Thompson, Emily Hansen, who brought us together, RAHMAAN.
Yep.
And
hey,
thank
Emily.
you,
good morning.
Emily. We've got Sarah Edmonds and Bruce Bjork listening in. Thanks, guys, for being here. We got folks from around the place. Emily's right around the corner from you.
Yep.
Right now. So, Mehuman, you want to launch in with some questions?
Actually, you know what, RAHMAAN, if you don't mind, I would love to hear. We want to get spoiled by your music as much as we can. So do you want to share some of them with us out the gate and let these people know you in the house? Or what do you want to do?
Sure. Yeah, I can play a song.
All right.
Thank you so much.
This is so exciting. And good morning to Diggy Cat. How are you out there on the West Coast? We're joining you live from Maine, and we have RAHMAAN PHILLIP here with us this morning, coming to us live from Las Vegas, and he's about to make it happen for us. Oh,
you are a morning person. You're grooving first thing. Do you just wake up in the groove? Like,
man, I try. Yeah, that was my first time playing this violin in 2 years.
yeah.
And it's funny because I've kind of been on like a little sabbatical. Like I've been focused on like resting and cooking, and it's been really nice. But yeah, long story short, this is like my first, that was the first time I've played a song in so long.
That's beautiful. You just blessed us. That's beautiful because I have chills. I'm so excited you're here. RAHMAAN, you've got so much going on. I don't know where to start. Where do you want to start? You want to talk about Lady Gaga? You want to talk about Rise Up Gala? You want to talk about the Tyler Robinson Foundation dream? Where do you want to start? Because you've got a full plate, my brother. Full plate.
Yeah. I think that I need to start by getting something off my chest. I received some news that I lost a very close friend. His name is Rassar, and he's actually a on top of being like an incredible human being, one of the most talented rappers that I know, and an incredibly intelligent person. And he was the rapper in a band, a local Las Vegas band called The Leak. And they were really starting to take off. And I know Rasar because probably 10 years ago in Las Vegas, I was hanging out at this open mic downtown on Fremont Street at this place called The Beat. And I would be there every week, and he would as well, and a lot of my fellow musicians around town, and we all went on to do things with music like professionally. So that was like a special spot for what is now like the local Vegas music scene. And yeah, The Leak was really, really taking off. And I got the news, you know, and I don't feel, I can't say that I'm sad, because the one thing that I'm thinking about is, of course, you know, we're all human, we're all mortal. Death is a natural part of life. And I'm just really thinking about the legacy that he left behind, especially like as a musician. That's really all that we could ask in life, is to leave something behind that will help the people that are still here on earth.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can
so
I just share? I just pulled up their website, and The Leaks, and Democracy Manifest was their new record out. Is that the, and
yeah,
what you just said is like, we are living legacies, and what we do now impacts what we do tomorrow, and also what we leave behind. You couldn't have put it better. And condolences to friends and family, beginning with RAHMAAN. And you guys are in our prayers.
Yeah, totally.
Comfort and joy.
Totally.
Absolutely.
Thank you for sharing that, RAHMAAN.
Listen to The Leak if you get a chance. Like one of my favorite bands of all time.
All right.
Wow.
All right.
Beautiful.
I'm going to pop up their website in a banner in just a second. We're so sorry to hear about that. And I want to just say real quick, if you're just joining us, this is Postcards, and we are here with a very amazing violist, violinist, composer, arranger, RAHMAAN PHILLIP, who is in the United States doing shows in Vegas with Lady Gaga, Imagine Dragons, and others. And we're so glad to have you on the show while you're here from Vietnam, your home in Vietnam. And Mehuman, you want to take it away with your questions?
And thank you so much for opening up the conversation with transparency and real heart, because that's what we hear. You're a real person, and it's real in your music, and you're 247 real person. I read you started playing when you were 10, and who was the first person to put a violin in your hand, and how'd that work out?
It's a funny story. So, my earliest memories are when I was about 3 or 4 years old. I remember finding a violin in my grandma's house, like in a cabinet somewhere, some old violin. And I tried to play it, and it didn't have a bow. So like I just smashed it. And my grandma still laughs at that story. That's like one of my first memories. And growing up in Pasadena, my mom would make the commute every morning to LA to work and drop me off at preschool. And on one of the big skyscrapers was a picture of the LA Philharmonic and their concert master and the conductor. And just that image, just, I don't know why, you know, driving past that every single day, it just stuck with me. And my mom had such a great taste in music. Like one of the albums that she played all the time back then was the Beatles. And by the time I could talk, I knew the whole album. And in the song A Day in the Life, there are places I remember. There's that harpsichord solo. And I remember asking my mom what the instrument was when I was very young. She told me harpsichord. And I was just so like that, you know, that word comes from like another language. So those were like my earliest memories. And then when I was in 6th grade, I had the opportunity to, you know, join band or orchestra. And I signed up for orchestra. And when I got in there, I thought that it was like you only take orchestra for 6 months and then you get to change to a different elective. But you know, stuck around 20 years later.
And it's not an elective, it's actually a life. So
yeah,
it was actually your vocation. You just had no idea at the time.
Yeah, they don't tell you that.
They tell you
20 years later.
Yeah. Well, and so you know, one of the things that was so, I think I mentioned this earlier, when I first met you at the 5 spot in East Nashville, last time I was down there, and you were playing with Jeff Mix. Hello, Mixes. I think Jeff is listening in this morning.
Good morning,
So
Jeff.
give a shout out to Jeff. And one of the things that struck me immediately was like that I'm also a violin player, and I'm super out of practice right now.
I did not know that.
I play in more like French Canadian traditional dance tunes. That's my jam. I play for contra dances and stuff. But the thing that I picked up on right away when you're playing was that there was just like such varied, I call it musical DNA inside of your playing. And so what happened after orchestra? I feel like we're going to be here forever talking to you, but that's a big question. So how did you start to adapt your playing or move into different genres? So
I don't come from like a musical household. So my mom and my dad aren't musicians or anything like that. I'm trying to think of that. Yeah, that's nobody's really asked me that question.
Oh, sorry, that was a huge question. I
love that. Because you're saying that
sorry to put you on the spot.
Your mom, just the fact that your mom listened to the Beatles and stuff like that. I mean, and there's a lot of influences around you.
That's where it starts. Just the music. Like my mom was listening to everything. So like,
there you go.
I knew what good music sounded like, and her favorite era was like late 60s through like early 80s. So like in my opinion, that's the best era of music. But I wasn't really taking music seriously throughout middle school and high school. Like I was more focused on like football and then skateboarding. And then when I was 18, my senior year, like I was kind of a troublemaker. Like my head was not in the right place, you know?
Hey, and we
teenager.
Surprise, right? So I get this, I was planning on dropping out of orchestra class a year, and then I get this field trip slip that says, you know, Carnegie Hall, and I never heard of that place before. And to my mom, she's like, oh my goodness, like this is crazy. Yeah, you're going to Carnegie Hall. And I was like, okay, sure, you know. And I got there, and then it changed my life. Like just being in that building, you know, getting to travel because of music. I was like, this is amazing. So instantly when I got back, my whole life just changed. Like I went to Violin Outlet, the local violin shop here in Vegas, got my first viola, like purchased it, got all this sheet music and just started locking myself in my room and just practicing like classical music, you know. But it's interesting because I wasn't really listening to classical music back then. I was listening to all this other stuff. I just got absorbed in classical music and started taking lessons. And before I knew it, like I had a full ride scholarship to UNLV, University of Nevada, Las Vegas.
Nice.
Not because I was an amazing viola player, and this is important for like any kids listening out there, because viola is such a obscure instrument. Every orchestra needs viola players, you know? So fortunately enough for me, I was able to get a full ride scholarship, and I was just put in this really intense like classical music program. And UNLV also has one of the world's best jazz departments. Like they're always winning every award. So I was hanging out, like all my friends were like jazz guys. So I had that influence, started listening heavy to jazz. And then a man named Jerry Brookins kind of saw me as this young kid who was like eager and coming up, and he really mentored me. And his story is his dad was a jazz bass player, and he was a gigging musician in town who played with stars, so I can't even remember their names right now. But he told me that I needed to learn how to play the blues. For whatever reason, this man told me that I needed to learn how to play the blues. So for about 5 years, I would just play gigs with him, and he would just give me advice and tell me records to listen to. And I really got a deep appreciation for the blues, the minor pentatonic scale, the 1-4-5 chord progression, like that being like the foundation for like what is American music. That's the difference between like classical, when you have that 1-4-5 chord progression. And he taught me how to improvise. So I had this really intense classical training at school, and then outside of school, I had this really intense like blues training. So
wow,
I quickly began to realize that when you understand like blues changes, pretty much, you could apply that to all styles of music. So yeah, I was able to adapt, I guess, because and I practiced developing perfect pitch while I was in college. And that really helped me out a lot.
Wow.
Ear training. You know, now all that
ear training.
All that ear training, all that the conversationalist aspects of the blues, because it's so much, it's very much conversational. And then the technical discipline of classical. I mean, that's a perfect storm right there for a musician.
Yeah.
It really does. But also your willingness to take on those disciplines, because you don't wake up and know any of those. There's a lot of work involved.
Yeah.
A lot of wholeheartedness. Mm-hmm. So to be clear, kids out there, if you want what RAHMAAN has, you got to do the work. You just don't show up and download that. You got to do the work.
If there's one thing I can say,
because this is what 20 plus years of doing it. But good news is if you just start 10 minutes a day, commit it, just inch by inch, and you practice and you make it part of your breathing, you can access music too. So don't get discouraged, but know that you got to choose it. So that I just really want to plug that, because there's so many people who adult, different ages, whatever, will listen to your story from all walks of life and be inspired. And the challenge is now you guys get out there, inspire, get in the party, because this is another example of somebody who went wholeheartedly for what they love. And that's fantastic.
There was something you were about to say there, RAHMAAN. Do you remember what it was?
No.
Probably gone now. Okay.
Well, we were talking about the different disciplines that have wrapped up into your music and who you are.
Yeah.
And we're talking a little bit about what you're up to. Before we get too down the line, can we just talk about a little bit about your residency with Lady Gaga, about the Rise Up Gala, and also about the Imagine Dragons, what you're up to with that? Can we just show those websites so people can find you and also know all the things you've gotten, you've earned? You've earned your seat at the table. So let's show a little bit of that. And let's see here. I'm going to go right to your website, if that's all right. And you also have a really beautiful YouTube channel. I just want to put that up too.
And yes, absolutely. While Mehuman's pulling that up and we're showing that, I just want to give a quick 411, just say you're listening to Postcards. We are based in Portland and Westbrook, Maine, and you can write to us, P.O. Box 1252, Westbrook, Maine, 04098. We would love to get mail from you. We read the mail on Mondays. But today we are talking with the very amazing RAHMAAN PHILLIP, coming to us live from Las Vegas, visiting from his home in Vietnam, when he is doing, we're here. We're going to chit chat a little bit about what he's up to in Las Vegas. Take it away.
And RAHMAAN, I have your website pulled up here. This is where you can find this talented artist and gentleman scholar. You can read all about him. You can find the media, music, and RAHMAAN actually, this is just such an opportunity, also gives lessons. And I actually—
one second. My mom's heading to work. Sorry. Love you, Mom.
Hi to Mom. Bye, Mom.
Hi to Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Everybody says hi.
Hi,
everybody.
Oh, yes. All right. That's cool.
Priorities.
That's right.
That's right.
Mom. That's right. And he's a good son. And he's a good son. Would it kill you to say hello to your mom?
That's right. I love that about you, man. That's awesome.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
That's beautiful. And so, and because of Mom, we are all here, right?
Yeah.
Because of Mom.
That's
and
right.
So here's RAHMAAN's website, and you're doing a residency with the great, incomparable Lady Gaga, jazz and
piano. You want to click on shows there, Mehuman, so we can show them the page there?
And and you're also part of the Rise Up Gala, which is coming up very soon. with Imagine Dragons and the Tyler Robinson Foundation supporting kids who are impacted by kids and families impacted by cancer. And I just want to show the VIP reception entertainment right here. And you have a lovely, lovely, lovely YouTube channel where you can be spoiled with videos of RAHMAAN playing in all kinds of settings and just really gorgeous stuff. And here with your shows, we'll just go back to that. I love this picture. You look so happy in this picture.
Yeah, I think I was playing with Elvis Monroe, and I think that we were opening up for Bush. And yeah, that was an awesome experience.
Wow. You just look like you're just like, this is what I do, people. Love it. Love it, love it, love it.
Okay, so we're talking about RAHMAAN's got a bunch of things coming up here in Las Vegas. You got a residency with Lady Gaga at the Park MGM, October 14th through 31st. Now, I'm so curious about how that came about. How'd you meet her?
Yeah, another funny story. Being a musician in Las Vegas, you know, and I think about that a lot. Like, where else can you grow up and you just get opportunities like this? Everybody comes to this town. So just location and timing. I was actually, I had a residency at the Paris Casino a few years ago, and just a solo lounge gig, you know, it was fun. And one day I was playing, and a man who I know who's a bass player was leaving a gig, and he happens to work for the Nevada Musicians Union. So he just walks up to me and he's like, "Hey man, it's crazy that I'm seeing you here right now. There's this gig coming up that I think you'll be perfect for." And I was like, "Okay, cool." He's like, "Yeah, expect this call on Saturday. It's for Lady Gaga." And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, that'd be awesome, you know." But I never put the cart before the horse, because yeah, anything could happen.
That's right.
Saturday comes, I don't get a call. Sunday comes, still no call. Monday, I'm heading to work, just drinking my coffee, and then I get the call, and Joanne, the contractor's like, "Yeah, show up to rehearsal in 3 hours." Like, okay. So I go to work. I'm like, "Yeah, I gotta go. I got this rehearsal for Lady Gaga." And
A Star is Born. A Star is Born. It's like the movie.
Totally.
Yeah. And at this time, I really don't listen to like too much modern current music. Like I said, my favorite era is from the 60s through 80s. So I still listen to that stuff. And I've heard a couple of Lady Gaga songs on the radio. When I heard like the chorus to Bad Romance, I heard that and I was like, yeah, this is pretty cool. But you know, I wasn't too into like pop music at the time. But when I told my coworkers that, they were like telling me all this great stuff about who she is as a person, and that made me really interested. And yeah, I got to meet her. I got to hang out with her one time and talk to her for a few minutes. She's really, really down to earth, super cool person.
Great.
And yeah.
And so what was the job you had to say, hey, you guys, I have to go play with Lady Gaga? What was the job you were doing? I'm just curious. Where were you working?
So Violin Outlet, the place where I bought my first viola. That's where I ended up working as a luthier for like 10 years.
A luthier? You're a luthier?
Right on, man.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's commitment. That is not only, you know, intimately everything there is to know about violins. It's a part of you. That's beautiful. And
I still have a long way to go. Yeah, that's the beautiful thing about the trade of being a luthier is it's just as intricate of an art as any art form that there is.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's sculpture. It's resonance. It's like actually maybe close to having a child almost, because instruments become living, breathing things
for 1,000 years. Yeah,
thousands of years.
Yeah. Wow.
Beautiful, beautiful.
So with all this talk of violins and violas and whatnot, would you be willing to play for us a little bit more, RAHMAAN? If you're just joining us, this is Postcards. Okay, while you're setting yourself up, I'm just going to give a quick station ID and talk about what we're doing here. Welcome to Postcards. If you're just joining us, we're so glad you're here. I think I got to say hello to most everybody. Thea McHugh Wood, hello. We didn't get to say hi to you yet. hello to all our listeners, current and future. If you're listening to this tonight, we're so glad that you're listening in. Please leave us a comment. And thank you to Emily Hansen and Magnolia Rhodes, who does our booking and has invited RAHMAAN to be here with us. Is her connection with artists that is that's populating our Thursdays. And
the lovely, great Emily Hansen.
That's right.
Viva Las Vegas.
Viva Las Vegas. That is right. You can write to us.
A treasure.
That's
Indeed.
right.
Queen Emily.
And you can follow Magnolia Rhodes on Instagram and Facebook. They've got our website, magnoliarhodes.com. Please go check her out. She's got a great service to artists that she provides. And so, RAHMAAN.
Emily's the best.
Emily is the best. And so are you. And we're so excited that you're here. So what do you got for us? What you going to play for us?
I figure it's only proper I do some Lady Gaga. So I'm going to do Shallow.
Okay, sweet. Thanks. RAHMAAN PHILLIP here on Postcards. God. Oh my God. RAHMAAN PHILLIP here on Postcards. I'm just like stumbling over my words.
Gorgeous. One of my favorite remakes of a movie is A Star Is Born. Lady Gaga was a genius. I am old enough to remember when Barbra Streisand did it. And that film and seeing her work in that, she had me at La Vie en Rose when she sang the Edith Piaf song. Blew my mind. who can sing Edith Piaf? Only Lady Gaga. She's incredible. And just that was a beautiful, beautiful rendition of Shallow. That song gets me every single time because every time when you think about the end of that movie, oh my goodness, the end of that movie just crushes you every single time. Yeah. But that was so beautiful. Thank you for that. Thank you.
Oh my God. I just smile when you play. When you start smiling, I get chills. I smile when you play, and then you start smiling, I get chills. That's how that's working for me today.
You got to write a song.
Conversation.
I think so. When you smile, I'll get chills. Yes, I'll do that. Game on.
I'll write the string arrangement.
Okay. That's really? Beautiful. Okay. I'm on it. I'm on it. I needed that. Thank you.
That's beautiful.
We're here with RAHMAAN. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I just want to talk a little bit about family.
Let's do it.
Siblings, who plays, who doesn't play, how does it work with family? And also the conversational piece of how you play. Like we know that you have a discipline in classical. You've been listening to Pop All Your Life, one of your favorites, and that you've integrated all these different genres together. Mm. But there's a uniqueness in your voice and your way that you play is very conversational. It really speaks from your heart. And it feels very intentional too, that you're really trying to say something when you play.
Thank you. The reason that makes me laugh, so I haven't done a lot of podcasts and interviews. I've done a few, but the questions that you guys are asking are really cool questions. Ask a musician. Yeah. So you said about being conversational, and thank you. That's a compliment when you say that it sounds intentional. Because as a musician, we could be very self-conscious of how we're perceived. But I've had to think about this because people have said so many things about the way that I play, and people, different things. And my answer is I was so eager in my formative years, through college. I would be everywhere. I'd be playing every genre of music with everybody, and having that blues background, understanding the minor pentatonic scale. But when I was learning, I always overcommitted. So I was never able to really master and learn something. But I kept always getting gigs because I was easy to work with. Even though I wasn't the dude that was going to learn the part off the record every time, I always knew what key I was in. I always make up my own little simple lines or whatever that would work, and take my solo. So I just got, looking back in hindsight, I just got as good as I can at doing that. I always thought that I was a procrastinator and man, I really need to get serious and stuff, but the gigs just kept flowing in. So, because that was my skill. I didn't have to have any rehearsals or anything. I could play 3 different bands in one day, no problem. So, I just really developed the skill of just being able to just pick up and play, I guess, without having to think about it too much.
Yeah. So what you're saying is that, what you thought was a shortcoming actually was your gift on the other side of it.
Yes.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Everything. I never gained anything from procrastination.
When you think about it in language,
you gotta practice it though. Procrastination is a skill like anything else,
Yeah. Okay.
And then you're and also the time that you took to learn these different languages. When you think about, especially because you've been living in Vietnam, so when you get hungry enough, you learn how to say food in Vietnamese. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Where's the
food, coffee, and juice, and money.
I want to hear
because you got to pay for all those things.
Oh my God! I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm just so
that makes it so. I don't know if it's procrastination is necessarily the right word because you were always getting these different tools gathered so you could speak the language that you needed to in the moment.
Yeah.
So it wasn't procrastination. It was I was overcommitted.
Yeah.
It was eager. I was very eager, and I got used to having to work under those circumstances.
Yeah, that sounds like a person. Doesn't sound like a procrastinator. That sounds like a serious hustle, like somebody who's really getting it done. You know what I mean? Really wholeheartedly saying, I've got all these tools. I have ear training. Ear training alone, to take the time to learn, to be disciplined enough to have ear training and study music, that makes you able to do all those things that you were able to, that you can do. I mean, you did the work. I don't know if I buy the procrastination thing. I think you're a very hardworking person, and you're very talented.
I didn't mean to make it sound otherwise.
I vote that you're very hardworking. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
And that's a habit of mine too, because like, my father is like the most disciplined, hardworking person of all time, and even my girlfriend tells me like I have these habits that are like not normal. Like I don't know what a day off is, and in my head I'm like, I still have 500,000 things to do. Like back in the day, I'd be like, man, I still got to practice this classical piece for 2 hours, and then I still got to like practice these jazz songs or whatever, and learn these cover tunes. And I'm just like, man, I'm so far behind. But yeah, in reality, like as I get older, it's like, nah, I did so much work that day, and you just have to rest. Rest is it, and not make myself feel guilty about. And that's why I mentioned at first, like, this is my first time playing. Like, it's so fresh. I haven't played any of these songs in so long. And one of my favorite musicians is Sonny Rollins, the jazz saxophone player.
Yeah.
And he's famous because he took his like 2-year sabbatical. And that was always so interesting to me. Like he was like this very in the box bebop guy, and then took 2 years off, went under a bridge and just played his music whenever he wanted, and came back with just this style that nobody ever could have imagined. And I always wanted to do something like that, and I feel like I'm finally getting to do that. So
And how are you resting? Because you mentioned that you're cooking now and you're doing things, because this is a key thing, because you know, even Jesus took a break, y'all. He went for a rest. He went to the wilderness to do his thing, to get ready, but then he would step away all the time to rest. So we have models all over any kind of faith that you are, any kind of practice you are. There's always resting. We always have to get rejuvenated. So what are you doing to rest?
So this is not professional advice, but I don't think that you actually need to rest until you're like 23, 24 years old. Up until then, I was not getting any rest. I was sleeping like 3 hours a day, playing in smoky bars at night, and then waking up going to class at like 7 in the morning. So but yeah, your body catches up to you. And you know, coming from Vegas, like, it's this hustle and bustle. And before I left for Vietnam, I remember driving down the freeway, heading to work, and I looked to my left, and there's that same Rolls Royce. You know, you see at least 12 Rolls Royces a day in Vegas, you know? And it hit me. I was like, this person who's in this same Rolls Royce that takes the same route to work with me every single morning, what is the difference between our quality of life? Besides the fact that his seats are nicer than mine in his car. We both work the same amount of hours. So then I left to Vietnam, and it was like amazing, just slower pace of life. Everything's much more affordable. The food was just great, like in Vietnam, and a vibe that I get from most developing countries. Like my family's from Trinidad, so it was a similar vibe. You shop at a marketplace. If you eat a chicken, it's killed when you pick it out. It's, you know, they don't know the word organic out there. They're like, what do you mean organic? I planted this myself, you know?
That's
like,
fresh.
Fresh, from the earth, like with rainwater. And so I got to go out there, and I just, you know, for the first time, I was like not worried like about having to hustle so much. And I had time to cook. I had time to appreciate like fresh ingredients and meditate and just think and take it easy. And I'm really happy to be back here in Vegas and still have that mentality. Because my past self was just always looking for like a way to make more money. And then once you make more money, you have more things that you need to spend.
That's right.
So it's like, let me just, you know, me and my girlfriend, we really looked at each other and we were like, from this point on, we are going to make our well-being the first priority, our health, our well-being, no matter what. I will never, you know, the world is such a big place. If you like beaches, there's so many beaches. If you like mountains and snow, there's so many places with mountains and snow. Sometimes you just gotta, you know, pick a different environment and just know what your values are.
Wow.
Well, we
Powerful.
have both beaches and mountains and snow in Maine. We also
We'll lend you a sweater.
Your family. We'll lend you a sweater. You can have a sweater. We're officially inviting you, your girlfriend, and your family anytime to Maine because we love to accommodate and show people around here because Maine is probably the most slowest state in the whole we're like another country up here, you know, and we value it. Just I was out of town, I came back and I was so relieved to get into my main mode of thinking and just relaxing. So I love what you're doing. I love, and your commitment to your comfort and your joy is huge. And you've been such a blessing and such an inspiration. And I'm excited too because I actually signed up to take lessons with you, my friend.
I saw that this morning.
I'm going to do the same thing.
Cello hack. I play cello, but I'm horrible. Horrible. I know because it's not. For now I am, but I have a vision for it. So I'm so excited just to kind of just spend some time with you. Also, you are welcome here anytime. You're part of the family. And Emily Hansen, we thank you so much for bringing RAHMAAN into the fold.
Thank you, Emily.
And we're going to be like just saying traveling mercies and prayers over you for your peace and your comfort through all the things that you have on your plate, for you to have just to enjoy it and then be in the fullest of everything that you're experiencing in the best way possible. And it's just it's been great to have you.
Yeah,
and
totally.
Just thank you for being here. It's just been
thank you so much for having me. This was really nice, and blessings to you as well. I do look forward to coming to Maine. I will definitely make that trip.
Oh,
yeah,
good.
We're serious.
Oh, good.
We're gonna
good.
We're gonna keep you running. We'll be like, what time you getting here? We'll pick you up.
Cool. We're gonna book Merrill Auditorium, which is the big, beautiful place, right? Aren't we? 2,000.
You want to, or you can just come and eat. I like to cook, so you can just come and we'll eat. We
got good food up here. That's true.
If
that sounds amazing.
Yeah, you don't have to play if you don't want to, but
I would love to play.
You have
especially in an auditorium.
That's right. It's a beautiful place, but you do have to eat.
Yeah,
that's true. Make sure you're not going to be hungry here. That will not happen to you. Maybe I'll make sure of that. Now, if you want to, we always go out with a postcard song, and we invite our guests to join us in a wonderfully asynchronous manner on the song. We were playing in C#. Okay. So if you get so moved, there's no pressure. If you get so moved, please feel free to join us.
Okay, I'll just listen to the chord progression and then play like a beat ahead and see how that works out.
You know what? You don't have to be in time.
Kind of off, so don't worry.
You don't have to be in time. When you show up for rehearsal later, you got to be in time. Right now, absolutely not.
Kind of tricky to do it. It's a dream to have in time.
Straight up swing progression. When you're down and you're blue and you don't know what to do, just write a postcard, RAHMAAN, PHILLIP, we love you. When you're feeling fine and there's something on your mind, just write a postcard. Don't you know Grandma loves this show? She listens every time. You don't need a reason. You don't need a rhyme to write a postcard. The P.O. Box 125, just write a postcard. 04098, just write a postcard. Westbrook, Maine, 'cause Grandma loves this show.
Shout out to Grandma.
Shout out to Grandma. Thank you, RAHMAAN, PHILLIP. It's been wonderful. And thank you, everybody, for listening. And we will see you next month.